Today we're driving a 2015 Supercharged TRD Pro Toyota Tundra. This is about 110,000 miles on it. And Charlie, who's been helping me book press cars, he works at Daily Motor and has been doing some windy road drives. This is his dad's truck. He bought this used for about $28,000. Got really lucky in finding this spec. These TRD Pros are pretty hard to find new, let alone secondhand. So it'll be interesting to compare this truck versus the brand new Tundra that we have this week.
Yeah.
So you said you paid about $28 for this?
Yes.
And you had 90,000 miles on it?
Yep.
That's pretty good. Not too shabby. And was the Supercharger factory or dealer installed?
Dealer at 11,000 miles they put it on.
Okay, all right. And this was probably the last year they installed those Superchargers, at least from Toyota. I'm curious to see how this feels and drives with 100,000 miles compared to a brand new one. In my experience, Toyotas don't really change that much.
No, they hold up great.
Yeah, this is kind of the way to do it. If you can't find or don't want to spend the extra money for a new one. So same 5.7 liter V8. We just have a little bit of a supercharger whine here. There's something refreshingly simple about these trucks. We're testing a lot of trucks this week. We've got we've got the new Nissan Titan, the new 2020 Tundra, and you compare these to the US offerings from GM and Ford, and just the amount of simplicity that's here, and usability, and overall long-term reliability. They make for pretty compelling vehicles. And right off the bat, from first impressions, this thing feels awesome. Super solid.
Yeah, there's no clunks or anything.
I know, it's amazing.
It sounds exactly like the new one does.
And this has been a Michigan truck too, right?
I think so, right? Michigan its whole life, for the most part?
I think Ohio.
Yeah,
Indiana.
Midwest. It's already a little dirty, so don't worry about taking it down a little dirt.
Does this have an aftermarket exhaust too? TRD exhaust, or is it stock?
It's the factory TRD exhaust. It's the same one that's on the new truck.
Okay.
Yep.
This supercharger's fun. It sounds good too. This 5.7 is just a really, really good sounding engine. It always just pulled well. You can throw it into a manual mode here. Yeah, that's healthy. That feels good. Sounds nice. Gives you just that extra little power for towing.
It's a pretty significant power bump. I'm trying to bring up the numbers right now.
I can tell you what it is. 505 horsepower and 550 torque.
That's pretty good.
Feel free to get on it.
Once we hit some dry pavement, we'll do a little 0 to 60 here.
Pretty sure the magazines, I'm looking it up right now, back in 09, the first one, it had a little bit of tweaks since then, but talking sub 5, 0 to 60.
Wow.
That's something
Might
that's
want
large.
to turn the traction control off.
Yeah, we'll do that here. We'll come to a stop before the pavement gets wet again. Auto LSD. That's traction off.
You hold it again, I think. Maybe it has to be in neutral
There we
or
go.
park.
There we got it.
Okay.
Yep. Cool. Yeah, Toyota likes the traction control to be turned off at a stop. Ah, it's so smooth.
Mm-hmm.
And that speedo just climbs to 70 just like that.
Just keeps on going.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And it's just a really nice blend of the exhaust note and just enough supercharge. It's not quite like Hellcat screaming in your ear.
Sure.
You know, gets old after half an hour sort of deal.
It's subtle.
And it
TRD
quiets
did,
right down.
yeah, TRD did a nice job with this exhaust too. It doesn't
Yeah.
drone or anything. It's loud when you're on it, but otherwise it's pretty silent.
Yeah, when I'm on the expressway and over, in top gear, you don't even notice it.
That's great. Fun.
Absolutely. Yeah, you can be in any sort of situation. You can just bring it out.
Muscle truck.
And when they have to reprogram the computer for the supercharger, and it disables the speed limiter.
Oh. So you can you're just limited by your brawn and the tire tread. Probably aero at some point, but I don't know.
Well, this is cool. I've always known these existed, never driven a supercharged V8 from Toyota. I wish they offered one for the 4.6, but not in the US.
Well, you could always import.
I know, you could. So any significant maintenance items with this? I assume it's been pretty cheap to own. Just wear and tear, regular things like brakes, tires, oil changes.
Oil changes.
I don't think you've done anything to it, really. It's been turnkey.
Yeah.
It does have the cam tower oil leak, and
that's right.
it's an issue with a lot of the 5.7s.
Okay.
So I have to get that fixed eventually.
That's right.
It doesn't lose oil or leave any on the garage floor or anything, but it's definitely, the dealer tells me it's all wet
Okay.
down there.
Just a little bit of a leak.
Yeah, because the two Tundras that have gone out 1,000,000 miles, those were both 4.6s, right?
Yep.
You
This
do
is
any-
a more complicated motor than the 4.6.
Sure. Do you do anything with rustproofing
I had
or
it Z-barred.
Z-barred? Okay.
Just so that I never have to worry about it.
Yep, that's good.
The problem with that is that it smells all the time. The Z-bar, you can smell that
I could
stuff.
smell it. Yeah.
Really?
Just lets you know that your truck's not rusting. These Tundras are so good to drive.
There's not a lot of wind noise.
Yeah. These KO2s, there's not a lot of noise from them. They seem pretty well balanced too.
No rattles that I can tell, all from the interior. 5 years, 100,000 miles.
And this truck must have seen a lot of highway use. I mean, that's kind of the way to go when you're buying a used vehicle like this, is you want a lot of highway miles, not a lot of city and hard stop and go use. And very often, vehicles with more miles will have less wear and tear on them than those with, that have been just driven around short distances in the city.
It is interesting that there's no grab handle on that side for anywhere getting in.
Oh yeah, that is interesting. Yep.
Do you notice that at all trying to get in?
It would be nice.
Right. I wonder if the new one
They
has
can't
one.
say it's safety because they have one over here.
Right. Is that a Raptor coming up on us?
I think it is.
Embarrassing.
This would do it.
You get compliments. I get compliments all the time.
It looks so, this color is, like you said, it's not available anymore. So even on the new TRD Pro, you can't get the color and you can't get the supercharger. And it's not easy to find the extended cab versions rather than the full Crew Max.
That's right, because this is a 6-foot bed.
6.5 actually.
6.5.
Yeah. Just adds a lot of usability,
Yep.
depending on what you're throwing in there.
Can you still get this configuration in the 2020?
I believe so.
Yes, last year they skipped. You couldn't
That's
get
right.
the extended cab in the U.S. You could only get it in Canada.
Okay.
But now it's back. But there's plenty of room back here. It's, you know.
Yeah. It's like you're not lacking really in anything.
Yeah, you don't really need a palace in the back seat.
No.
It's so nice to have the larger bed.
I mean, unless you were truly only using the truck for family hauling, that sort of deal, and you never really use the bed. But if you're doing anything legitimately truck stuff, definitely opt for the longer bed.
And this has the TRD suspension,
Yes.
not the Fox shocks that the new ones are using. It still rides well.
I can't remember the brand that was used on these.
It's cool that we're testing all kind of 3 hopped up versions of the trucks this week.
Testosterone versions.
Yeah, they're good.
Yeah.
Another reason I wanted one of these is you don't see them all the time.
That's true. You do start to see a lot of Raptors now, and they're still cool, but this is a refreshing change from
What's most of your use with this truck? Do you do any towing, off-road?
A little bit some towing and just using just up north stuff, you know.
Yeah,
Throw
okay.
stuff in the back.
Yep.
that. Snowmobiles in the back, 4-wheelers, 4-place trailer, boat, and this is probably, out of all the trucks you've had, it handles the towing
And
the best.
mountain bikes. We can get our mountain
Okay.
bikes in the back.
Oh, yeah.
The tailgate.
Cool.
Which I have biked in a regular or full cab short box TRD Pro, and I had to like kind of do the wheel turn on the
Yeah,
front.
you have to
Whereas
angle
this
it.
one, he can actually, you have a whole bike rack, right?
It's
Like you
called
just put it straight in.
Pipeline rack. Have you ever
Yeah.
heard of those?
Yep.
And you just stick your front wheel in it and go. You don't
That's
have
awesome.
to strap it down or anything.
That's great. Perks of having a truck bed that's big enough, and I do a ton of mountain biking. That'd be awesome. That'd be super useful.
You ever consider getting a top rack for your GX?
Too tall. I don't
It's too
want to
tall.
reach up that high. I've never had a roof rack on any of my cars, and I'd rather throw it in the back or take a front wheel off than
Right.
deal with that. I do have the Sea Sucker suction cup mounts, which
Yeah,
are nice.
you
'cause
showed me
can-
those on your Miata.
Yeah, you could throw them on anything.
That's cool.
Back in 2015, I don't think you could get a sunroof in a TRD Pro, but now you can.
I was going to ask if that was an option, because the new one does have one.
This Titan has a whole panoramic sunroof.
Really?
It's huge. The whole roof is a piece of glass. It's pretty amazing.
A little sneak peek to one of your next videos.
I know.
Or prior.
Yeah, who knows
knows when they're
what
gonna
order
come
I'll upload in.
One of your other videos.
I should mention, with the Supercharger, it's not recommended, it's required that you run premium fuel.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Interesting.
A little extra power there, a little extra for the tune.
Yeah, you got to be willing to pay to play for these sort of toys.
Well, I think the power's worth it.
Yeah. Truckland.
Yeah, we've got the whole lot to ourselves here. Cool. Well, there you go, guys. There's a little taste of a supercharged Tundra. If you can find one, I'd highly recommend it. And a little bit of buyer's advice, too, with getting used over brand new. Though I think one reason why people buy the new ones, if they can find one, is because the used ones are... People hold on to these trucks. They don't really sell them that often.
That's true. You don't have people leasing Toyota trucks very often.
Yeah.
They're buying them and they're keeping them for a long time.
Especially the TRD Pro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're getting exactly what they want.
Cool. Well, we'll wrap it up there. Thanks for the input, guys.
Absolutely.
We'll see you later. Take care.